Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, we're going to take a look at how to work with the JavaScript development environment in the dev mode or with the dev file, but use real data from your client file. There may be times when you're not ready yet to put it into your client file, but you want to use data. So we're going to take a look at how to do that. Let's get started. So the point of this is just to get up and running as quick as possible, working with as real data as possible in your dev environment. Now like I said before, you may not be ready to put it in your client file. Perfectly okay to do within the first 5 minutes, but if you don't want to, this is how you do it. So let's take a look at our setup. Here I've got a data tables integration, and if we look at it, it's just got 2 records because I actually hard-coded those records here in the columns and the data of data tables. This is a nice way to start as well, but again, it's not real data. So let's go get some real data. One of my additional files is my JS in FM trainings file that contains all of the content that we learn during the training time. This is a good chance to learn how to work with JavaScript and FileMaker, by the way. In case you haven't signed up, I recommend, and I hope you do. All right, see the link below. So I want to get real data out of here, and so I'm going to set up a little script to run that. Here's my script. I actually already set it up, but it is using the execute FileMaker data API script step to run a query and then return the result. So I've got this query that I'm building up in these first 4 rows, and it starts with the layout. There's a query parameter where I look for records that have primary keys not empty, which is every record, of course. I want to sort it, and I want to sort it in an ascending manner. This doesn't necessarily need to be. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. So I can run this, and we'll take a look at the results. So when I run it and I look at I get the data out of there, the data viewer shows, let's format that. Data, there we go. We have data, all 26 records in this array of records with the field data dot whatever, ready to go. Okay. So I've got this script run, and the purpose of creating this script is so that I can create this exact same thing, this exact array of elements. So while the script is running, while it's in debug mode and I've got it paused, I'm going to just copy this data here and remove that. So I've got it copied. I'm going to go into VS Code and create a new file in my source. I'm actually going to, let's just do a new file and call this sample data.js. It's important that it be a JS file, and you'll see why. Yes, we're working with JSON here, but we need a JS file. In this JS file, we're going to paste that, what we've copied from the clipboard from FileMaker, into this. But before we do that, we will put it in a variable, const sample data equals, and then now we paste that in. Since it's only 26 records, we get a nice quick formatting, and we're ready to go. So this is our sample data, and it's all there, and we can use that in the separate file. To make it available in the separate file, we use the word export right in front of const. So we're saying export const sample data. And so for all practical purposes, this data will be exported out of this file and can be used anywhere in this environment. That's pretty cool. Let's go over to the index.js file, and at the very top, right underneath whatever we've got up here, depending on your version, your library, whatever else, you will write an import statement. We're going to import sample data from sample data. There we go. This line here shows the syntax for importing information and importing data in this case. I put it in curly braces, and that's important. And I've labeled the path. This is the relative path from this file to the previous file. So now that we have this imported, we can do a console.log and console log sample data. Go over to FileMaker. Go over to the app that we are working in. We can run it. Still have got that. And my sample data should be available. So even though it was written in a separate file, we exported it out and it became available in this file. That is extremely powerful. Yes, this is only 26 records, so it's not that much. I could have gone in here, gone over to this, and just copied all of this from the top to the bottom without that export word. And I could have put it in here. I could have said const data equals all of that stuff. The problem with this is, let's get rid of that. And we have to comment that out because the variables are the same. So this is okay. The problem with that is my text is really long and I have to scroll all the way down until I get to the actual functionality. And I don't want to do that. Plus this is just sample data. I don't want it to be part of my file when I start using real data from FileMaker. So let's undo that. There we go. Okay, so we're back to where we're at. Now we have the sample data and we can start using it. So I'm actually going to put that down here in the data. Not that, just the variable sample data. And then I'm going to give it some field names. Here's some columns. So one of the data is, let's go up to the top, description, or let's do title first. So the title is title, and the data is field data dot title. This is describing the path to that. And this is actually part of what you do with data tables. You construct your columns in this manner, and you give it the path and then the title, and then the property name. And then we'll do one more just to be complete. We'll do description and do field data.description. All right, so let's go over to FileMaker, rerun this, and there we go. We now have sample data in our system, and we can start to now build up the data table or any library however you want. And that's an important point. This does work for any library that you're working with that you want to use sample data. Ideally and ultimately and practically, I guess, there's no reason to have the sample data in here after you hook this up to the real file and you start working with the client data in real time. So this sample data right now is part of the system, but you can easily remove it and just comment this line out. If you comment this line out, then this sample data is no longer available to this file. If we run it, we're going to get an error. It can't find the sample data. And that's great because now this sample data will not be bundled when we do the deploy. All right, so that is how you connect sample data to your development environment using the JS dev file until you are ready to connect this to the real app. All right, that's it. It's pretty simple and easy. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and we'll talk to you next time.